What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 40 of The Scope, the live FPS news show that you guys all love, or apparently at least like it because you're here. And look who's back. My right, your left. Buff, what's up, man?
How's it going? Long time no see.
It's been a while. Extremely glad to have you back. The people have suffered enough through me trying to solo this thing. Yeah, we're glad. Everyone's glad. Trust me that you're back. So,
man, it's good to be back. It's been like a 2-week hiatus just about for me, so I'm glad to finally be back at it. Jesus.
Yep, and we're very glad to have you back. What have you been up to, man? Like, yeah.
Oh my God. First off, Jake, thank you for the 2, brother. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's awesome to be back. So first off, the reason I was so MIA recently, a lot of you guys know, but moving. So we were moving, our lease was up, we got a house. So I was just like the past 2 weeks plus was just painting 9 hours a day, got new carpet, I painted ceilings, walls, everything. It was terrible. I'm never going to paint again after this. So doing that, moved in. My internet's still a little spotty, but they're coming out tomorrow to look at it. And to top it all off, I cut off part of my finger last night. So, but we're still here. We're still here going at it. So it's good to be back regardless, even if I don't have 10 full fingers.
Nice. Nine and what? Probably 3. That's like 9.78% of your fingers are there.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's
just about 10.
Wait, is that your trigger finger? Oh no.
No, I know. I'm right-handed. This is thankfully my left finger.
Okay,
but
you're still good. Okay, all right.
Typing is a bit of a challenge currently, so I have to just like use my other 3 and hold this one up because I can't really type with it right now.
Well,
So.
you gotta hunt and peck like I do, or look at the keyboard. I always got in trouble in typing class back in middle school because I would always look down at the keyboard, and I still have to, like, I can type really fast and my hands are in the right spot, but I have to look at what I'm doing. And they would when they would catch you, they put the sheet over your hand or whatever, so you couldn't look, but I'd still like lift it up and like look down underneath. I was bad. I cheated, but I had to do it.
I'm kind of the same way, to be honest, but I type super fast, so it works for me. I don't care.
Yeah, but man, that was a crazy 2 weeks for us because I haven't told a ton of people yet, but I guess I put it out on Twitter. That, yeah, like Leo said in super chat, thank you for the 2 in super chat, that I'm gonna be a dad. And
all right.
And a couple weeks ago, I found out that it's gonna be a little boy. So
nice.
we're that far along. So we're gonna get a little mini crash sometime in the middle of February. The due date's actually Valentine's Day, February 14th. So
awesome! Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, my wife and I have been kind of a long journey to get to this point with all the medical stuff. So we're pretty excited. I'm gonna be one of those old boomer dads, but it's all right. We'll get there. I gotta get him practicing aim lab so he can carry me right away. So the sooner
there you go.
Get him going.
There you go. See, you say old boomer dad, but you're like literally, I think, 3 years older than me. So still young, man. Still young.
I feel old, but I don't know, man. I'm feeling my health and stuff is doing a lot better. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna be good to go on the dad thing by the time
that's awesome. So
arises.
make sure I expect, if he's due Valentine's Day, I expect him to be co-hosting with us by, say, May. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it won't be long. It won't be long before he takes over my spot for sure. He gets me kicked off the show and takes over and runs everything. So I guess I'll just end up probably having to be a FPS coach and manager, talent manager.
There you go.
At the end of the day, and I'm okay with that. People are going to be tired of seeing my face by then.
I'm sure he'll be in phase in no time, honestly. So.
Oh, no problem at all. Be a Valorant pro in no time. But yeah, no, I had a good time on my trip. I was unplugged from the internet for like 5 days. I told everybody about it on the show, so I don't have to go through it. But so we saw a lot of bears. Like I was using my bow. We were archery hunting deer, and we got kind of a bear problem on the property. And where we were at in that particular part of Oklahoma, you can't hunt bears. but they were around. My buddy I was with, Clark, we were hiking around. I almost stepped on one the first morning. He was bedded under a tree. We walked by a
Oh
black bear.
my
He took
God.
off running. I had to change my pants, come up with a new plan. But then I get back and I'm thinking, I kind of told myself, black bears, they're not a big deal. They're not a problem. We don't really need to worry about it. And then I get back and I see this on Twitter, dude. You got to see this. There's a bear attack on Twitter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I see this and then it freaks me out even more. So I saw this the other day and it's like, we were talking about how bears, like black bears, my buddy was telling me it's not a problem. We don't need to worry about it. I have my 1911 with me, so not crazy. Nothing big like 44 mag or anything. And dude, it was like, I don't want to hear the guy screaming. I gotta turn the sound off. That's bad production.
He looks I mean, that looks still like a young bear though, too. That's still a cub.
Yeah, that's what we scared up the first time. So like a younger male, and we were like, "Where's mom?" You know, we were worried about that too.
That means mom's close. Yeah.
And then like by the end of my trip, I'm like, "Man, bears aren't a problem. There's no problem. I don't got to worry about it." And then I get home back to the internet and I see this. I'm glad I didn't see this before I went, or I would have been like freaking out. This guy's just chopping, Judy kicking. I'm pretty impressed with the dude, man. He punches the crap out of this bear in the face. Sorry, podcast listener, and then kicks him in the face. He's got the hammer fist, the up kicks. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, he scared him off. But yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you if they were grizzlies or black bears. But yeah, black bears they're still no joke, man. We would go. I know we're obviously in two very different states, but upstate New York, there's a ton of black bears too, and I go camping up there since I was really, really young, and we would be face to face with black bears all the time. So definitely, they're usually pretty not aggressive to humans, but you definitely don't want to get caught with a cub. Between a cub and its mom is bad news.
Yeah, pretty much. I was fine with it until afterwards I saw it, and then I got scared later. But I generally make it a rule. So I went to Hawaii with my wife, and she's like, "Why don't you get in the ocean and swim in the ocean?" I'm like, "There's sharks in there." She's like, "Oh, no, it's not." I'm like, I make it a rule. I don't enter any environment where I'm not the top of the food chain. So like being around bears and predators and stuff that are the tier higher than me, I'm not about that. I'm not really about that. But yeah, I guess we should talk about video games, huh? That's what we're supposed to do.
I'm ready to go.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right, we're all back. We're in it. Here we go.
I'm charged, 2 weeks charged. Let's get it.
It would not be an episode of The Scope if we didn't start off on a sad note and talk about Battlefield 2042. Yeah, and I kind of pulled out all the stops. I called this like potentially a scam with the 2042 event, the liquidators. We talked about it. You don't know the particulars, so I want to tell you a little bit about it and then get your reaction to this. So this is an event. So you know how starved for content Battlefield 2042 is, right? So they come out with this event.
I mean, it's the best Battlefield they've made, isn't it? That's what I thought.
You're gonna make me drink bourbon, aren't you? You're talk to you like that. I'm gonna have to drink some whiskey. So, all right, you know. You may not think you know, but you know that there's not a lot of content. So we see this event, and everybody is getting amped. Everybody's getting excited for some new kind of content in Battlefield 2042. And this thing comes out, and it is Squad Conquest, which we kind of knew, but it's essentially running in Portal. So there's no new maps or anything. The big thing you can see in the trailer that's playing on the screen was the cosmetics, right? I just saw a Reddit post that put the tallies on it. So all these cool cosmetics and stuff you see are behind a paywall in the store for premium currency. You can only buy, or you can only earn. So they talked about like the big thing on the blog post and the Twitter was earn ribbons, earn skins for this event. And then you see this trailer, you're like, oh sweet, those actually look pretty cool. I'm going to get in there. Out of 32 items of the liquidator event, you can earn 4 of them.
Oh no.
28 of them are in the store.
Wow, so that's not good.
Yeah. So after a game cost many of us $70 to $120, came out with by far the least amount of content in a Battlefield game in the history of Battlefield games as we know them today. They pull this shit and basically get people excited for an event, and then it's basically an advertisement to sell skins in the store. What are your thoughts?
I'm definitely not surprised, first off, but I mean, I think we all knew, right? Four seasons of content to fulfill their legal obligations, and that's it. So at this point, they're going to be doing anything they can to make money, store items. So I'm definitely not surprised. I'll be honest though, I did see this trailer last week when it first came out, and I really didn't like it at all. I just thought it looked goofy as hell, to be honest, with all the different cosmetics and whatever is going on. I did not like anything I really saw. So to hear that all that's behind a paywall, that's definitely shady. I personally did not like any of the cosmetics they did. Feel like this is just more evidence that they're going in the wrong direction. I don't know how long this liquidators thing was planned for, if they're reusing assets that they had made that far in advance, but I mean, like you said, this is probably not the event that you wanted to release at this point in the game, right? So definitely shitty, but I'm definitely not surprised. It feels like they're doing just the bare minimum, throw things out there and see what kind of money they can make from the people that are still playing the game. And that's about it.
Yeah, it feels like they believe that the Battlefield community, DICE and EA, believe that we're just like a dirty, rotten old dish towel, and they're trying to wring the last little bit of goodness out of us with an event like this. Because it essentially did run on Portal, so technically with a few tweaks and stuff, someone like just a normal Battlefield player could have made these modes. They didn't make any kind of changes to the maps. You know, a lot of games, like even Rainbow Six, they have the Doctor's Curse. They redid a map for it. You had like the Christmas version of the Crash map in Call of Duty. People do these, or video game companies, AAA, do these events, and they make changes to the maps, and they kind of had a little bit of lore and story to this. There was really none of that there. There was Squad Conquest is back from Battlefield 4, and boom, there's a bunch of stuff in the store.
You know, it's frustrating to see this, man, because every time we talk about this. Thank you, Chase, for those bots. We got the sex bots back. What's 2 weeks hiatus without sex bots? We're welcoming us back. I love it.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, I mean, I guess looks like Tinder's popping. So
yeah, get at it, guys. No, what I'm saying is we talk about this all the time, right? I mean, dude, and the other day I posted on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I was doing the unpacking and stuff like that. I found some of my old college like Game Informer magazines. So I found 2 issues that were actually like big throwback items. I found a pristine Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009, original Modern Warfare 2 Game Informer cover, when that was the main issue for that. And then I found a pristine mint condition Battlefield 3 Game Informer. And I was like, man, Battlefield 3. I was just like, that was a hell of a time. And I was thinking there when I was looking at that, I was looking through it, looking at what the articles were, and I was like, man, who would have thought where we'd be now in 2022 from back in 2000, what was it, 2011, I believe, right? Holy crap. It is just like pretty interesting to be looking at that magazine like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, I had like actually kind of a banger tweet for me this morning. All I said was that I miss Battlefield. I just said, I tweeted, I miss Battlefield, and like Westy replied to it, and like a whole bunch of people. Like it's a real thing, man. It's so sad where we are, where we could have been. I even looked just back to like my channel and how excited and stuff I was for everything coming.
The hype was amazing for 2042 though, and that's when I found your channel was a 2042. Like the hype train was amazing for that. I was super pumped. That's how I discovered your content and everything. And they did. I mean, let's be honest, they marketed that game brilliantly, but they scammed the hell out of us because everything they marketed was a complete lie and not at all what they gave us.
Yep. And then to further that along today, more what I would consider bad news based on, so people who watch this program, you guys know, you've seen it. We talked to Jim Heil. the EA developer who was a rendering engineer who worked on the game, and talked about the issues with Frostbite and how the game would likely be better served moving to Unreal 5 or Unity or something where another company handles the engine stuff, so they don't have to worry about it. Then they can focus on content, balancing, events, community engagement, maybe a little dash or a little bit of communication here or there about actual stuff people give a shit about. Those could all be things they could do. But we found out, I don't have the tweet pulled up ready for this show because my production team's dog shit, that they're going to stick with the Frostbite engine. It sounds like Marcus Leto, who's working on the campaign aspect of the game, working on the next single player installment in the Battlefield universe, tweeted today that the Frostbite, someone asked the Thurston 13, he asked, is this going to be a new engine, a third-party engine or something, or staying on Frostbite? He said the Frostbite is getting much-needed upgrades. So it sounds like they're sticking with Frostbite, which is kind of contradictory to what Jim had said that should happen. So that was a little bit of a bummer. Right. The Frostbite engine can work. I point to Battlefield 5 for looking good, running good, playing well at this point. So
even Battlefield 1, I thought Battlefield 1, to be fair, I didn't play Battlefield 5 outside the beta, but Battlefield 1 I thought was, and you could tell me better if 5 looked better than 1, but 1, given World War 1, it was awesome when I played it for 4 months, 5 months. The setting was the only problem for me, but the graphics, it's undeniable how good that game looked.
I think 5 looks a little bit better fidelity-wise. I don't know if this is going to make sense. In my opinion, 5 looks better like fidelity and just graphics and textures and everything, but 1 was so much more immersive with the
it had like that gritty, it had that like gritty immersion look. Exactly. That's kind of what I liked about it.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 had like all the immersion factors like off the charts. Everything had that kind of mist and clouds. It was just like, it's dark, it's shitty, it's World War I.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. And then here's another thing that popped into my head. Since it is not beneath them to come out with a mode to advertise 28 cosmetic items in a store that you can purchase only. It's not beneath them to do that. I'm wondering, is this studio that Leto's working on in Seattle, is this another cash grab where essentially they're gaslighting the I'm gonna stand up. I'm on a soapbox right now. I'm kidding. My microphone's down here. Is this, they're gaslighting the community into not expecting a campaign, right? This is the first Battlefield. We didn't get war stories. We didn't get any kind of single player experience in this Battlefield. So now the community thinks that's normal. So then we're going to have a single player game coming out of Seattle that's going to cost, I don't know, maybe $70. And then we're going to have the multiplayer experience separate, which is going to cost, somewhere in the neighborhood of $70. So instead of all that being into one game for the AAA price, they're basically gaslighting us into thinking it's normal to split the campaign off and make $140 instead of $70 for one, which was normally a Battlefield with a single player experience and a multiplayer experience all in one.
Yeah.
I went wild.
Dude, I'm sorry. No, I mean, but you're right. It's so, and again, I sound like a broken record, but Battlefield 3 and I've played, keep in mind, I've played every Battlefield, and obviously you all know I'm more of a modern first person shooter fan.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's a little known fact. But for me personally, Battlefield 3 was still like the best Battlefield because not only was the multiplayer, it had, like we just talked about with Battlefield 1, Battlefield 3 had that immersive, gritty feel and look to it. But the campaign for Battlefield 3, that was when they had to go head to head with Modern Warfare 3 at the time. So that was like their best, right? Competition drives the best out of everybody. And they were going head to head. I think they were released maybe a month apart. And the Battlefield 3 campaigns to that point, prior to Battlefield 3, I think the best we had, the only campaigns we had were the Bad Company campaigns, if I'm remembering correctly, and Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on the old PlayStation 2, Xbox, and the 360 port. But so Battlefield 3 was like a huge, not only was the multiplayer content, weapons, everything like that enormous, destruction was really good. But the campaign for Battlefield 3, that's a game I could go back right now and play and have a blast with it. And I still typically go back and play that once or twice a year for that Battlefield 3 campaign. And of all the campaigns I've ever played for a modern first-person shooter, Battlefield 3 and is easily number one. The only other ones next to that, I would say, are probably like Medal of Honor Warfighter and Medal of Honor 2010. But Battlefield 3 campaign, man, the memories there, just I don't know. They did it great back then, and you were only paying $60, or maybe it was 50 back on PS3. I can't remember the game price then, but that was peak Battlefield for me. So to just see them going backwards continuously, you said it. I miss Battlefield. That's really all you can say.
Yeah, I miss what it used to be with like all the friends. I mean, even I know Battlefield 5 is not people's shining example generally of a Battlefield game, but I mean, even back then, I just remember like not that long ago when I started streaming and somebody would pop into stream and like, can I play with you? Yeah, here's the server, hop in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, we could all, as many people as we wanted to, could get in the same server and hang out and play together. And there's just, it's just so hard to do that because it turned into a lobby shooter without a server
I mean,
browser.
you know, Crash, like, come on, dude. They don't have the technology to support run a server programs anymore. I mean, what's so hard to understand? You're asking for too much. They don't have the technology. That's all there is to it.
Brutal expectations.
Yeah, you're just too brutal, dude. You can't rent servers anymore. Why would you expect something we had 10 years ago? Dude,
I'm stupid. I get it.
Yeah, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Can't believe it.
Yeah, what's your problem, dude?
Yeah.
All right. That's enough of that.
Brutal.
We'll still keep an eye on everything going on with Battlefield 2042. I'm still making a few videos on there, kind of just covering it for news because I enjoy making videos talking about stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna still make videos to tell you what I think because I just feel, I don't know, I feel bad for the Battlefield community, honestly.
It sucks, man. But you know, as much as I think we both played it in the beta for Modern Warfare 2, we played the ground war and everything. And as much as obviously it doesn't have the Battlefield feel to it, like it looked more Battlefield than Battlefield visually. And the other thing is, I mean, that you said earlier, I just wanted to go back and touch on was the engine. They're upgrading Frostbite, which obviously, like you said, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 3, like it can look really good or it can look really bad. Case in point, Battlefield 2042 just looks like a goofy cartoon FOV2 wide thing. I don't really know what it is, but if they upgrade it and make it look good again and get away from this goofy cartoonish look for 2042, that's good. But I will say the Unreal Engine 5, some of the demo stuff we've seen the past couple months is better than anything I've ever seen graphically. So I don't know what the reason is to stay in house with the Frostbite, but hopefully that means they've identified all the issues and bad mistakes they made with 2042, and they're confident they can deliver what the community wants. And if that's not the case and we get another dud, I mean, we'll have to see. I think maybe Embark will be doing their take on Battlefield going forward.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that's like. I'm also, yeah, there's a few games I'm still excited for. But I would have to say I would dial it back a couple notches from you. I thought Ground War played all right, but it still didn't feel like anywhere near Battlefield to me. Now, yeah, I would say it was a better experience than 2042. But I wouldn't necessarily, when I play 2042, I don't feel Battlefield. Like it doesn't feel hardly at all like Battlefield. Essentially just the scale of it does and the vehicles. But, you know, Ground War and Modern Warfare 2 has that. So I don't know. I still would, at the end of the day, any of the old Battlefields give me a better, more polished experience. I didn't really get a Battlefield vibe from it, but I got a better large scale combat game than 2042. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I mean that's what I was trying to say is gotcha. it definitely didn't feel Battlefield for sure, but visually it looked more Battlefield than Battlefield, if that makes we're I guess we're saying the same thing. It just, when I looked at the gameplay, it looked what I would have expected this iteration of Battlefield to look like.
Got it. Agreed. So I guess the next thing to talk about is what everyone's probably thinking about this weekend, whether you're a Call of Duty fan or not. It's going to be shoved in your face. You're going to hear about it because it's a pre-order bonus. Everybody's excited. Is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 campaign week. Early access is allegedly going to be Thursday.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So there you go. I really don't have a lot of stuff to talk about other than what's already been said about the campaign. Do you have any I would say, I don't know. I've been watching Big Fry replay the 2019 campaign to kind of remember what that's like. But I don't know, what are you expecting story-wise? I know we've talked a lot about Sicario and stuff like that. Are you thinking something like that? It seems like from the trailers and stuff we've seen that it's mostly like taking place in Mexico, Central America, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've definitely gone back and played the 2019 campaign a few times, and I go back and do some of those night missions a couple of times. I just did that Bin Laden compound raid like last month or 2 months ago, and going back and playing those in realism is great. But yeah, I do, from everything I've seen so far, unless they're just pulling a hard U-turn, it feels like it's going to be very Sicario based, and I think everything we saw in that most recent trailer shows that. So I'm definitely feeling Sicario vibes from everything I've seen so far. However, I don't expect it to be, I wouldn't say it's going to be beat for beat Sicario. It looks like there's a lot of things taking place domestically also, which kind of, again, you look at it, Sicario 2, there's, and even a little bit of 1, there's some domestic stuff going on in the US. So I really think they're going to be taking, like I've been saying in a lot of my videos, is like Sicario, Clear and Present Danger are 2 really, really big ones I would look at there. And then there's also definitely some Zero Dark 30 vibes, Active Valor vibes, but primarily it looks like they're going with that Sicario 1 and 2 vibe. And I think that most recent trailer we saw for the campaign kind of showed a lot of that, because we saw the main release trailer for the campaign and we saw the PC trailer. And a lot of those, if you guys are familiar with the Sicario movies, like you can pick out a lot of beat for beat things that they're pulling from those movies. And Call of Duty always does that. They take whatever Hollywood movies have come out in however many years, and they'll pull cinematic moments or missions from those. And we saw a lot of that in Modern Warfare 2019. But I think theme wise, even the guys that mocap said, like required viewing was the Sicario movies as well as some others, but like that was the tone they were going with. So definitely Sicario. I think it's going to be a lot darker and grittier than 2019, and a lot more serious toned is the vibe I'm getting from this. Is going to be a much more serious game.
The 2019 one was pretty serious though. It was pretty dark and gritty. You watched them clear the houses, and like the mom with the kid pulled out the gun and you had to shoot her, and like it was pretty graphic. So I expected to be on par with that for sure.
Right.
It should be pretty cool. I'm usually not a campaign guy, but I did enjoy the first one, and I
just like, those moments are still ingrained in my head as just like, wow, those were great in-game moments that I experienced those days. So it's gonna be really good. And not to mention the rewards you get for completing the campaign early. You get a couple operator skins, you get an M4 skin, you get some emblems, things like that. But the M4, you get assault mod blueprint, looks really nice. And you also get a couple different operator skins and things like that are exclusive for completing the campaign early. So you can't really, it's like a win-win, but just by playing the campaign, there's really no negatives to it, which is awesome.
Yep. Definitely be checking it out. I'm pretty excited to do so. What else was I gonna say? There was something else about the campaign, but no, I'll probably stream it at some point. And yeah, exclusive Ace, what's your problem, dude? Get it together. A lot of people work hard on that campaign, man.
Nah, we
I'm
love you,
kidding.
Ace. We love you, Ace. Play it,
Uh,
and you're gonna love it. That's all I gotta say.
I'm kidding.
Gotta
It
give it a
was.
chance.
I just saw an opportunity to use my bleep button, so I had to use it. Sorry,
And
Ace. We
I
love
love
you.
that you. So for future reference, do I warn you before I drop f bombs, or are you just gonna be trigger ready with that bleep button?
Well, if you watch my streams and watch me play Search and Destroy, you know that my reflexes are not going to allow that to work. But you can try it. I feel like YouTube should be a little bit lenient with like intent, right? So like if you drop one and then I'm like, oh shit, and then like, hey, we tried, right? Like that's all we can do. I don't. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter. We drop those things like crazy.
All right. Well, if I get on a Raven topic, then you'll know to be ready. Other than that, I'm usually pretty good.
I'll get ready. I'll get ready to bleep. So yeah, campaign will be in just a couple days. So that's actually pretty exciting for people who are amped about that. I can't think of a whole lot else as far as the campaign goes. I don't think we really got much information. So I think we can move on to a little bit of DMC tidbits is what I called this. There's been a few things come out. You mentioned like the backpack thing, but along those lines, I did see a tweet, and I'm just starting to get, and this is 100% PTSD from Hazard Zone. I'm getting really worried about it. Like I'm getting worried about DMZ seeing much like that. But we did see I'm just all right. I'm gonna try to stick to the news. All right. So we did see the backpack icon was leaked. It's been taken down, so obviously we can't show it on here. However, Noiskoy, who is traditionally a Escape from Tarkov news source, he's up to date on everything Escape from Tarkov. Saw some DMZ leaks where he says, sounds like backpacks and armor are sort of their own things. References to already have a better backpack equipped and already have a better armor rig equipped. Inventory is full. So it sounds like your backpack and your armor in the game are going to be separate. I hadn't exactly seen that spelled out like that. Some of those things are probably in the data strings or the code strings that were leaked either a long time ago or lately as well. So that sounds a lot like Tarkov. Have you seen anything else on DMZ? It's really a mystery, and I'm getting freaked out that we haven't seen anything about it. And there's that whole debate, like, is it not finished? Is it broken? Or is it, are they trying to keep us like excited and keep something a secret?
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they'd be advertising it given what Battlefield did with Hazard Zone if they weren't confident in it. And the way they talked about it at COD Next, they seem pretty confident in it. But I have seen things, and some of the same leakers. I saw things like you said, the backpack, the armor. I did see iodine pills, different like stims and meds. So there's a lot of things there. And I don't think we're really going to hear much about DMZ until we get closer to that November 16th date with Warzone 2. And I do think they're prepared to obviously know coming out with Warzone 2, it's not going to be the main mode, but I think it's going to be a process mode that they're going to improve. So I think they realize that there's a part of the community that wants that Tarkov type experience on console. So I think it seems like it's going to be a pretty good experience at launch, but it also seems like it's something they're going to be invested in supporting for 2 years so far. So, and we wouldn't be hearing all these rumors with the challenges. I saw a lot of information on keys having like same with Tarkov, the more you use a key, the less durable it is. You get this durability, so you can only use them X amount of times, things like that. So I don't think we'd be hearing all these things if they didn't have an in-depth road plan for this mode. So I think comparing it to Hazard Zone, I think we've heard more about DMZ than we have ever Hazard Zone, and then what we've heard about DMZ is more than the official Hazard Zone game ended up being. So I think it's going to be fine, but I think also they know the majority of the population is going to be playing Warzone 2, not DMZ. But that doesn't mean they're not going to work on it. So I think we already have a lot of information to indicate that it's going to be a pretty polished mode that they're going to improve upon.
Yep. I'm thinking about making a video with like some facts and figures and Google Trends
Hmm.
graphs and stuff, but I've said it before on the show, so I'm not going to harp on it very much. But I'm pretty worried about just the extraction mode as a whole. I think they're going to have to do something pretty innovative to keep people's attention for a long time, because even a game as in depth as Tarkov is loses its appeal after a while, and after a few months people are ready for it to delete and wipe and start all over again. So they're gonna have something like that and something pretty interesting to keep people playing, so I'm worried about that. I'm probably, as far as this game goes though, like a little bit off topic here, I'm mostly excited for Hazard Zone. I've been playing a shitload of Search and Destroy in the evenings over on Twitch with some friends and having a lot of fun. Even though I never played much S&D in Modern Warfare 2019. I'm kind of like relearning it. Man, just those kids that run around like slide cancels. I sound like such a boomer, maybe offend some people, but just running around like crazy are so easy to kill. Like if you play with just a little bit of tacticalness and some comms with your friends, and they get so mad because even a lot of these guys and girls are more mechanically gifted than me and my friends are and stuff, but we can still beat them by just being in a good spot, and they get predictable and knowing where they're going to be, and they get so mad, and the comms and the toxicity has been hilarious. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The other big gamble with DMZ is that Warzone 2 apparently takes a lot of mechanics from DMZ, and that's why Warzone is the way it is. And there is a little bit of rumbling of people worrying that the DMZ was so important and was the mainstay that it's going to make Warzone play not like they want to. But I'm all for something different. I don't want a fourth year of the same Warzone mechanics. I'm all for something different. So
yeah,
we'll see.
You said it best. Like, why would they release the same Warzone on better graphics and not make changes? And I mean, we've said it before here. Tarkov was whooping Warzone's butt during peak Warzone on Twitch. So DMZ should be their main focus. Warzone, despite what the hardcore 1% community thinks about Warzone, which they're in love with it. You know, you're shit because you can't slide cancel, abuse the movement system, which is broken, not intended to be that way. Blah blah blah. Why would you like look at the player numbers that have been dropping with that game? You think Activision and Infinity Ward aren't paying attention to the data in the background and saying, "Oh, we're losing." Like there was a report a few months back that they were losing like I don't even know the amount, like a couple 100,000 every month or something is just like a ridiculous number. So obviously, what Warzone started as and what it evolved into was the wrong direction. Besides the people, that small percentage that thinks that that's skill, which I'm not going to argue. Like obviously, it's skill if you can abuse a broken movement system. That's great. But when you have to play more grounded and actually have gunfight skill and positioning skill and think and not just abuse a broken movement system, people are going to get pissed off. DMZ should be the main focus, and that system should translate into Warzone. And hey, if you don't like it, you can go play Warzone Legacy and abuse the broken movement system there. So that's really.
I was trying to be ready.
Man, I was close. I could have done it.
I was ready. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You were getting fired up, so I just had the bleeper ready.
I was getting there.
No, I'm just thinking about it and the stuff I played in the beta. I am pretty darn excited to get into S&D in a fresh game and prisoner rescue. I've been meaning to make a video, and I probably should, because I have some really amazing gameplay from prisoner rescue where we had such good comms and such good strategy. And yeah, it's so satisfying. And I found in my boomer status and age that's where I find the most fulfillment in games anymore is in FPS games, is working together with friends and with teammates, with comms and outsmarting the enemy, using what little skill and aim I have when I need to, but really trying to work on positioning, kind of trying to predict what the other team is going to do. And the hostage rescue mode had a lot more strategy than I expected. like a lot more strategy. We had some really good, we were starting to learn the call outs by the end of the beta, and we had kind of plays and plans for when, you know, there were a couple people left. Like there's a time where you don't want to kill the other team because you get more points for the hostage extract. So we were leaving a couple in lobbies, we were dominating, we were leaving a couple of the enemy team alive and just letting them stay alive and kind of trying to hold them down while we extracted the other hostage. And we had kind of a formula when it's like, okay, they're starting to get some back on us, we need to go ahead and take them out. Like it was just, it was cool. So I'm excited for that to come back.
Yeah, and you guys, I was watching your streams for Hostage Rescue, and you guys were it was awesome, right? That's teamwork. That's what the game mode is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this crazy one-man army movement BS. So I mean, you did a great job with that, and showed again, like these types of game modes are supposed to have like strategy and tactics. It's not just this run and gun arcade game that everybody for some reason thinks Call of Duty should still be and stay, where there's no thought process to take place. And get ready because I'm getting fired up. So in Warzone 2, like you watch the COD Next event, and people, like some of the streamers there were like, "Oh, I can't buy a loadout." After the event, they're all crying about, "I can't buy loadouts, the loadout mechanic," and everyone's like, "Is Warzone doomed?" Shock face. It's like, get the fuck over. Yeah, there you go. Get the fuck over yourself. Like, what effing loadout are you gonna buy when you have like 3 weapons available with no attachments? What are you guys talking about? Just play the fucking game and get used to the mechanics. Like, it's just pissed me off that you get invited to an event and you're complaining that you can't buy a loadout. They literally stated you can buy attachments and buy your weapon that you want at the buy station. Like, Jesus effing Christ. Like, let's get over it. Let's move on. Use the think, use your brain. I have to go to bathrooms and go to med stations to get meds to heal. Like, what's the problem with that? I don't get it. It just pisses me off. If you want to play that stupid no-brain bullshit, go play Warzone Legacy. And the men like me and Crash will be raping some ass in Warzone 2. That's the end of it.
I also want to say though, if I make content, I thought about making like strategy content for like Hostage and maybe S&D and stuff like that. If you take those people who are really good mechanically and traditionally lean on that all the time and just rush and use the movement system and all that stuff, if they would listen to those types of videos, imagine how awesome they would be at the game. So I think there's always room to get better with tactics. You might learn an angle, you might learn something that you're not used to. You can use that positioning, because if you do that, if you do both of those things, not just rely on one or the other, it's going to make you the best player. And that's when you start to do more things and get to higher lobbies and stuff, and you know, meet adversity with your teammates and comms, and that's when I'm having fun. So yeah, so I think there's, even though we probably alienated like all of the younger demographic that could potentially maybe listen to our program, there's still room for you here, and there's a place for your good mechanics. You just have to have an open mind, you little shits. Yeah. So you got me excited again for hostage mode. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I still gotta
and I mean that's what I thought. Like, hostage mode is case in point, and same with S&D. Like, peak, those modes are awesome, and I think that's that mentality and mindset, playing those modes that you had, playing with your friends, communication. That's what made original Warzone, like in the first couple months there, so awesome, because it was only trios, so you had to have good communication, you had to have good tactics, good movement, and that's where a lot of my original Warzone videos, that's why it was so fun to do those. Like, and especially when they added solos, it was just like, how can you and your team outplay players? And there's and you know it from Tarkov, there's specific ways of moving from cover, repositioning, that you can just confuse players, and you use those types of tactics and you get the better of people who do abuse those movement systems, which is fine, whatever. But then, like you said, they kind of get super pissed off because really you just, used a small fraction of your brain power to move instead of stay in one spot. And that's what was best. That was the most fun for me, is like, I did, not only did I outplay you, but I outthought you. Essentially, is like I made a tactical move, repositioned, and was one step ahead of you mentally to get that kill. And that's what was awesome. Made every kill, every engagement worth it. And that's why I love Tarkov, because every engagement you're like, your heart's just going whenever you're in a firefight. And that's what original Warzone was to me. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. And a lot of mechanics, if they're bringing them over from DMZ, firefights actually mean something again. And I think Warzone and Call of Duty in general went down a path where firefights didn't mean anything the past couple of years, I would say. So with the Modern Warfare 2 beta, especially everything I've seen from Warzone 2 and we're hearing from DMZ, like getting in a gunfight is a serious thing again for the most part. So I hope they stay with
modes,
that.
yeah.
Like, right. I want there to be a weight to that gunfight and not just I can get in a gunfight and if I die, I'm going to respawn and not lose anything. There needs to be more there, right? Otherwise that's what TDM's for.
Yep. I kind of want to address what Chris H said. In your chat, he said, well, our generations won't always agree. Gen Z versus millennial split continues. While that is more than likely true, I do hope to get the point across that even incredibly mechanically gifted Gen Zers could use some tactics and become even better. So I might try to do that, like with my content, that basically everybody could use a little bit more tactics. Like no matter your skill level, if you put yourself in an advantageous position, if you're thinking about what's going on, what's going to get you to your goal, you're going to play better no matter your mechanical skill level. So that's where I feel like I hope that we can kind of come together on. Like it doesn't matter how you play. If you play smarter, you're going to do better.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And like it's a weird middle ground because can you and I abuse that movement system? Sure. Do I want to play like that? I don't enjoy playing like that. So I just choose not to. So maybe that's obviously on me, right? But like you said, the people that are using those movement systems and taking advantage of those, if I'm still able to outplay those players, right, then there's still more to learn there. So movements, so taking advantage of that movement system in current Warzone or Modern Warfare 2019 is one thing, but to add that extra layer to it, I mean, overall, it's just going to make you a better player either way. So there's really no harm in it.
Agreed. Are you ready for some quick shots?
Damn right.
All right, I thought so. You had that look in your eye. Yeah, I got a couple news stories. Folks in chat, if you are so inclined, start thinking about some of your questions and stuff, comments to talk about, because I think as long as Buff's cool with it, we got some time for chat Q&A here at the end. This is not part of it, Buff. This is not part of the quick shot. But I'm surprised you're here. I was going to talk to you about this. Did you know in New York City, I'm surprised you're not there, there was a large, massive birds aren't real protest? Are you part of the movement? Are you part of the movement?
I mean, we all know birds are actually government drones spying on us.
Okay.
That are dispersing fluoride into the air and our water and poisoning us, so we think a certain way. So everyone knows that. Correct? You're with that?
That the birds are drones?
They're all robots, obviously. Have you ever seen a bird up close? Like, come on. It's not like you've ever shot and hunted a bird. They're robots, clearly.
I've eaten a fair amount of birds, but yeah.
No, they're robots. You're eating metal. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Oh, that's why my iron's so high. It all makes sense now.
And the Earth is flat. Okay, so
I mean, how could it not
get with
be?
It, Crash? Get with it, Crash.
How could it not be? All right, we're gonna get banned. Here we go. Sorry, YouTube. We love you. We're gonna be streaming to Parlor in no time. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about, and it's exactly what Chase was saying. Was asking about.
Yeah.
He knows where we were going. Everyone knows where we were going. You're not a first-person shooter fan, a friend of this program, if you don't know what's going on, because 9-point-some million people saw this on Twitter. So that's probably a good sign that if you watch this program, you probably saw it. But yeah, this is apparently someone is working on a game in the Unreal Engine 5 that takes place as a body cam game. It looks like from the body cam perspective. But if you're not in the know, it looks like just GoPro footage. Did you see this?
I thought, yeah, when this came across my Twitter feed, I for the first, like, I don't know, this was like what, a 2-3 minute video or whatever it was. For the first half of this, I was like, this is Ukrainian combat footage is what I thought I was looking at, is exactly what it looked like. So sign me up, man. How much money do I need to pay, and when do I need to pay it? And keep working on that Frostbite engine, Battlefield. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, UE5, pretty wild. I don't think this game doesn't make sense to me, but it looks amazing. Like, if I'm controlling the person, why would I be looking through a body cam and not my head? However, with the moving and turning his head around, this looks, I don't know, the kind of, maybe the 4090 that's out now could do it, that if you can fit it in your computer case somehow. This would be amazing VR. How stupid immersive would this be if it was in VR? But I don't know what kind of power that would take.
That would be
in VR, but
that'd be crazy. But I'll be honest, man. I can just, this is what they showed us here. It just has me like, I need to see like M4 or like modernized. I need to see like a modernized AR type gameplay with this now, because it looks so good. And I watch, like, if you Twitter and Instagram, like, there's a lot of pages I watch that are just like straight up body cam combat footage from the Ukraine-Russian war. That's why I thought this was what that was, because it's like, well, half of my feed is just combat footage that's body cam footage. So and I love watching that. This looked awesome. If you can just play combat footage, I'm all for it, dude.
Yeah, I guess it would be pretty cool. I don't understand. Yeah, there's so many things I don't understand, and it's one of those things, like, I hope it comes to fruition. I hope it's a done game and not just like a demo kind of like this. But this person is doing some really cool stuff, and we definitely have to talk about anytime somebody does something different, right? Like, first person shooters can get stale and have been kind of the same for a while in a lot of categories, a lot of the AAA ones, especially. When someone goes outside the box, we got to talk about it. So yeah, I saw this and it was just cool, and I just instantly thought how wild this would be in VR.
Yeah,
be pretty crazy. So yeah, all right, love it. It's time for the next quick shot. Since we are a first person shooter in this podcast, and this is a large first person shooter thing, I know we get stuck in the Call of Duty and the Battlefield rabbit hole a lot of the times, but I still try to talk about everything going on. There is a new season of Apex Legends coming around the corner. There's a lot of controversy, and I really don't want to get banned. But the next character is going to be a trans woman. I'm not 100% what this really has to do with stuff. And I think, first of all, let the record show that I'm fine with it, like completely fine. I think it's cool. I've always said the more diverse you can make characters in a game, and when you can get people who can like identify with those characters, it makes like immersion better. So I think everyone should have that opportunity in a video game. I think people take this and they just try to argue with it. Even though I feel like the vast majority of people are fine with it, there's just a ton of arguing and define controversy. People are just arguing on Twitter. You have people saying, watch what these incel gamers are saying about this. And then you have all of them saying like, why are you shoving this down our throat? And it's just stupid because like, I feel like no one has a problem with it, but like people are just arguing for the sake of arguing. But anyway,
I agree.
Like, there you go. There is a new season coming for Apex. Again, I'm all about diverse characters and having people that everyone can identify with, because that's how a lot of people get like immersed in games. And that's why I've always liked games with like a ton of customization, because you can build them and make them look like you want to, as long as it's part of the story, it furthers the story. Having this transition and stuff in a game, I'm totally cool with it. I think it's fine. I think it's great. I was going to talk a little bit more about what she does. She will serve as a defensive legend, also has a magical level control over ferrofluid, which she can supposedly manipulate to build fortifications and structures to defend her teammates. So a bunch of campers. That's what I'm getting out of it. But yeah, that's coming in Apex. I should play Apex again. It's been a long time since I've tried Apex. But
I played a little of it back in the day, but I mean, I completely agree. I select, like, if you're using COD as an example, or any first person shooter that I typically play, I select like my character based on how I can be immersed by being that character. So I have zero issues with this whatsoever, and I agree. I think it's more so arguing for the sake of arguing. There's no problem with this,
yeah,
in my
and
opinion.
I think it really shows like the Twitter algorithm shining, of getting people to engage and argue with each other, because it just puts the right people together to cause like a problem when, like, I feel like nobody cares at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So I think it's great.
I
I think
agree.
it's fine, and yeah, I should play Apex again, because it's changed a bunch since I've played it. So I feel like I should check it out again, because as Actung said in chat, Apex is fantastic. I completely respect it for what it is. They've built, even though, like we said, I'm not like super thrilled about the setting and stuff, as I'm sure you're not either. The game itself is an incredibly well put together battle royale, and they know what they're doing over at Respawn. The only problem I got with Apex is it's keeping us from getting Titanfall 3, because it's too damn successful, and I want Titanfall 3. That's
a lot of people do, especially lately, right?
Yeah, Titanfall 2 has seen a big resurgence on Steam. So if you guys are interested in that, there are lobbies you can find folks to play with over there. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think we all agree that Apex Legends 15 is coming up, and you heard it here first. Crash could make a little reunion tour with that. But yeah, I don't think there won't be a Titanfall 3 for an incredibly long time, until Apex runs its course, which might never happen. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, studios like money, publishers like money, and if there's enough demand, there will be a Titanfall 3 for sure.
I hope so. But most of the things I hope happen don't. Yeah, they are, like Actung says, they are bringing some Titanfall maps from Apex for non-BR modes. It has been data mined. Yeah, Tom Henderson reported on this on his Twitter, as well as the Insider Gaming channel. They have talked about some of those older maps are coming to the game, so it'll be interesting to see like what kind of modes, if they do bring Titans back eventually. And that might be the thing. We might not get Titanfall 3. They might just put all that stuff in Apex. So I'm guessing they're probably crunching the numbers on how that would work. So yeah, are you ready for the next quick shot? So a game that is like a happy medium between PUBG and Apex. Super People. The only reason I report on it, again, we're an FPS show, and a lot of people have enjoyed this game. It is out in early access, so if you are on PC and are interested in such games, I would highly recommend you check it out. It's a little bit. I've played a few rounds of it, and I'm a little tired of the specialist thing and the abilities changing gunfights and stuff. But this game is actually, for some reason, pretty fun. It is actually a pretty good time. So I would check it out if these are any of the games that are interesting to you. If it's a game from, I think South Korea is where the developers and stuff are. But it does play really well. It's had a lot of beta tests and stuff like that, and I know a lot of my friends that do enjoy it. So just wanted to make everyone aware. It is news, and it is out, and it is in early access. So you can check it out.
Definitely, I haven't seen any gameplay of it, so I'm gonna have to look at it, because I know we talked about it a few months back, and it looked pretty good back then.
It looks a lot like PUBG, and I've always said, I bitch about specialists all the time, but specialists can fit in a game like this, and they can fit in a game like Rainbow Six. I just don't enjoy them as much in a game like 2042, where it's a traditional Respawn playstyle, because I feel like specialists are okay if they're balanced and they fit into like a layer of the like tactics or way you play the game. Like, so what I mean by that is, if you have a squad, someone's going to play this role so they can do this. There's another specialist that complements them, so I'm going to play this. This is going to be my job, and then that's cool. I feel like in like 2042, it's just a bunch of people running around spamming their abilities and stuff like that, and it really doesn't fit into how you play the game. I might be wrong. That's just how I feel. And mainly I could feel like that because I'm sad how they ruined Battlefield, but it can fit in a game like this, in my opinion, if you're playing with a team. So
yeah, I agree with that.
And then I didn't really talk much about the stuff from Project U. I might make a YouTube video about it. I got some leaks and some information about the Project U. That's coming from Ubisoft. And I don't know who's gonna play it. It's essentially Arc Raiders with Fortnite graphics.
Oh wow, I haven't even heard of it. So I'll have to look into it.
Ubisoft, we might talk about it next week, and I might make a YouTube video about it, but I just feel like Ubisoft is just continuing to make games that nobody asks or wants. X Defiant might be sneakily good, but I think how they revealed it already has a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because they used the Tom Clancy name kind of blasphemously, according to a lot of folks. But it could be sneaky good. They're listening to players, and they're doing a lot of good stuff. As far as balancing and things like that. But it's going to be a COD clone. It's going to release alongside one of probably the biggest Call of Duty in history. So that doesn't seem intelligent. And then you have Project U, which is essentially going to be, it looks like Arc Raiders where it's a co-op shooter and there's aliens to fight. But it is also like, it looks like Fortnite. From the leaks and stuff that I've seen from my own source.
Interesting.
How about that? So I might explore it a little bit more. Yeah, let's get right into the questions. Always look forward to these. William has a really good one that I meant to talk about but forgot. So shout out William. Same thoughts as soccer players in Modern Warfare Robo Number 2. That leaked out that a lot of the soccer players are going to be there, or football as you folks say over there. Across the water.
Hey. Wait, same. So what does that mean? I'm super lost.
So did you know that a lot of the famous soccer players are going to be operators in Call of Duty? Did you see that?
No.
Okay. Well, there was stand by while the production team works on. I'm not going to be able to find it because it's
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So a lot of famous soccer players are going to be operators in Modern Warfare 2, as not officially announced, but found like data mines and stuff from I think Tom Henderson reported it.
Oh, cool. I mean, as long as they look good, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, if they're dressed up like, if they're in their soccer uniforms, that could be a little stupid.
Yeah, I would not like it. That's for sure.
Again, I implore you, if you are of more of the milsim type crowd, just enjoy the launch window. That's all I'm gonna say, because there is not a single doubt in anyone's mind that the cosmetics are gonna get off the rails later on.
Although Joel Emsley did say there were some tweets going on. He did mention that he didn't deny that there would be some goofy stuff, but he did say that they had a focus on. Not verbatim, but he said they do have a big focus and will continue to focus on the milsim stuff going forward as well. So hopefully, at least we'll see a good balance.
Didn't he say something along the lines, if it was up to him, that's how it would stay? Or am I making that up? I can't remember.
I don't know. Maybe. I hope not. But I know I was tagged in it, and it was like something I like to see. So hopefully, I liked it because it was not. If it were up to me, it was we will. Because isn't he the lead? He's like the lead art, so I would assume he would have the say for that, especially because he was really into the like the ghillie suit guys and the Kruger modeling and stuff for Modern Warfare 2019. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a fact and not.
I can't even find his Twitter account. I know I follow the guy.
Yeah, he changed his handle, I think, a while back, and I just refound him. Oh, because he deleted his Twitter for a while.
Show him.
Because the COD community is definitely not toxic and attacked all the developers and drove a lot of people off social media at all. That definitely.
What?
Yeah.
No.
And you guys think, and I'm comparatively, I am not critical at all compared to like some of the shit people do.
Yeah, the best part is when people attack them personally for decisions that
Yeah,
have nothing to do with them.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. Oh, I did see that, Chris. That's a good point. Another one. You
Yeah,
guys, man,
just reading that too. Yeah, great.
you guys should be on this show. You guys should
Mhm.
run this show instead of my dumbass. You all see the changes Chris H says to third person mode in Modern Warfare 2. Not only 4x scopes and higher put you in first person, the rest just zoom in but keep you in third person. I think that'll play a lot better for people that enjoy third person. So
Yeah, I was looking at that today too, and I didn't mind the way it was, but it did feel a little odd not being able to shoot in third person. So that's good to see. So that's really cool if that is the case. I'm excited for that. And Chase also brings up a good one. There were some weapon leaks. You may be able to still find out there. I know they're in some discords around, but there were some weapon leaks. I don't know who or how they got the shots of these, but the AUG H bar, RPK, the Mark 20 SSR, Scar H, the 725,
no,
and the 44 Magnum, I believe, were all the ones I saw. I don't know if I'm missing one. The standard AUG and 556 as well. The thumbnail icon for that, which will show up in the kill feed, was also leaked. So there was a decent amount of leaks. A lot of the stuff got removed though, and that was just like for general weapons. Like we talked about DMZ stuff, like iodine pills. So there's a lot of, I don't know where all this information is coming from and how people are data mining this, but it's there.
I did. I saw the iodine pills and I didn't know what the hell that was about. But yeah. Supposedly there's some kind of radiation that's going to come to Tarkov too.
That's
eventually.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, what they do with that. And Justin says Zenico in chat, and he's right. There is may or may not be some attachments for a Russian weapon pattern that I will enjoy customizing.
Maybe. You talking about, and then they're talking about the 500 mag was leaked too. So I'm guessing that's like a Smith and Wesson revolver. 500.
Right. Yeah, that's I said I don't know what I said. I said the wrong
good bear gun.
Yeah, 500. Yeah, gonna kick like a beast probably.
Yes, I have shot one. You got to hold on to it.
I love seeing the videos where like you get like a skinny girl firing it, and just like throws her back.
Yeah, that's so mean. I think the people that put her up to that should have their asses kicked, man. That's so mean. That's dangerous too.
Yeah, unless you're loading like one round only.
Yeah, hopefully they're doing that. But I've had like, you want to make sure you have some really nice soft like Hogue grips on that thing, because it will slap your hand. I shot my buddy also had a 44 mag in a Ruger Blackhawk revolver, and it just had the straight up wood handles with the steel like through the middle and then the two wood pieces on the side. That thing, dude, it just smacked your hand when you shot that thing with like full loads, would just smoke your hands like every time.
But, well, yeah. Hey, at least Crash, at least you didn't lose part of your finger, right? That's all.
True. Yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
I still have all 10 of these bad boys so far. So hopefully that stays.
Wow, stop showing off, Crash. We get it. You have 10 fingers, okay?
No big deal.
Jesus.
Hey, you gotta let me have something. I can do that. Like, I can't do a lot of things, but I can have my fingers so far. So I gotta have some kind of W. But yeah, I think, is that a show?
Yeah, I think it looks like it, man. We got a campaign coming up this week. I'm pumped. It's good to be back. I was all fired up today after my 2-week hiatus, so really good to be back on the program. I had a good time, and I got out some needed frustration. So love it.
Yep. Justin, I guess, has a question. I'm the same way though. I was hyped up for today. Glad to have you back and talk about. Although I didn't know exactly what we were going to talk about for an hour or so. We came up with something, but I was excited to have you back too. This show is a lot of fun for me. So I appreciate everyone for being here. Justin says, I'm having withdrawals from the MWII beta, which is crazy that I haven't been into core COD MP in a long time. Have either of you felt similar and enjoyed all that? I felt it similarly. What's got me through it is I've been playing S&D in Modern Warfare 2019 on Twitch at night. And I didn't play it when I was into that game. Like, cause then I got into Rainbow Six Siege a lot, and then now S&D is kind of like that, but a lot easier. So I've been I didn't wear it out back then, so I've been playing that, and it's been getting me through. How about you?
I've played, I think, 30 minutes of Ghost Recon Wildlands and probably an hour of Call of Duty since the beta, and that's the only thing I've done. Other than that, I spent a little bit of time in the Battlefield 4 test range, so I really haven't played anything since the beta. So yeah, basically that ruined. I played it and I was like, the beta ended, and I was like, cool. Well, I don't want to play anything else, so I'll just pretty much not do anything for until the game comes out. So I'm ready. I'm excited to get my hands on something Modern Warfare 2 this week.
Yep, makes total sense. Me too. I think, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I might stream it, or I might watch you stream it. I don't know yet. But yeah,
stream it.
I might. Mine would be a little bit different experience than yours. Probably, I would probably get hammered on bourbon and yell obscenities at the characters, but that's how my streams usually end up. But that's fine. Speaking of which, let's have another glass.
There you go. There you go.
This will carry into the Twitch stream later.
You and all your 10 fingers drinking some.
Look at that. Look how good I can hold this cup.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, eat that, dude.
It's cruel and unusual punishment.
Now I'm just showing off. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Buff, thanks again, man. It's just shitload of fun as always, dude.
Absolutely, man. Great to be back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Had a good time.
Yeah,
as always.
We'll as always, if you missed part of the show, we'll upload the VOD on the Scope channel, and then also podcast will go up as soon as I can. Hopefully tomorrow or tonight later, because I have to go into the office tomorrow. So as soon as I possibly can, I'll have that stuff up and going. Thank you guys for all the support. Again, shout out for the super chats and Avery for a massive dono. And
Avery, thank you, brother.
As well as everyone. Thank you guys so much. And we will be back next week with likely campaign reactions and what other news and stuff we can find across the internet to chat with you guys. We'll see you then.
Peace.